There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another lunchtime learning session here on CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. TGIF, baby. We are here. We made it through, and the weekend is looking awesome. So I hope everybody made it through the week and is looking forward to a really nice summer weekend. But before I let you go, we've got a really cool one ahead of us today. You know, with CMA, mobile audio, right? We cover so many different aspects of 12-volt electronics. Everything from car audio to alarms and starters and lighting, which has been such a big category. But, you know, if we're in the automotive environment, what we're going to be talking about today is going to be something pretty darn critical. It's not a secret, you know, laws have been passed. We cannot be playing with our phones while driving. So this has caused a conundrum for all of us. Well, all of us that own vehicles anyways and need to get around in a car or a truck or whatever it may be. This company has come up with a lot of solutions, really high quality stuff. Distributed by Importel, we're going to learn all about Mighty Mount today. And to my surprise, the first thing I learned, it is actually a Canadian company based right there in Toronto. So very nice to hear that. I always love supporting Canadian businesses. And here's an opportunity where we get to show you guys, the dealers, learn a little bit more about Mighty Mount. So to do so, of course, I'm going to have to lean on my good friend and 12-volt specialist over at Importel, Mr. Romesh. We call him Roku. Let's bring him on. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Ben. How's it going?
Well, Friday, man. You got me in a good mood. I'm in a great mood today.
It's like bedtime out in your time zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you normally sleeping by now?
Normally I am. Because we are ahead. I am on the East Coast. So you know what that means? It just means that I get to the weekend before you do.
Right. But your Mondays start earlier too.
They do.
There you go.
Mighty Mount.
Yes. Mighty Mount. Caseco. Exciting.
Caseco. Okay, so these are like two of the same brand, I guess, with different segments or categories.
So the Caseco side for us is the connectivity parts, I guess. Cables, Apple authorized cables, USB-C, micro USB, all that good stuff. Okay. And then the Mighty Mount side is the real, I guess, interesting part, or the part that brings the tethers the rest of
tethers. Nice wordplay. Nice wordplay. I like.
So the Mighty Mount side is the vehicle integration part. So as we're a solution, we always talk about solutions when we're on here, and we're always talking about why there are cellular phone mounts everywhere. There's all kinds. So why Mighty Mount? What do they do? And they have some unique mounting options. I think for dealers, they're only limited to how creative they want to be. And pretty much when they're even selling a phone a radio install or an integration on in the dash, or audio improvement.
Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is like, so we talk about this every day.
Correct. Right? Correct. So if they're doing audio integration, let's say with a vehicle where they're leaving the factory radio in, and it may or may not have CarPlay depending on the age of the vehicle, right? Then you have a way to get your navigation legally, and still use the USB audio input into the vehicle, or the HDP, the advanced audio distribution profile, Bluetooth streaming. So it's interesting for consumers because sometimes they don't know how they're going to do it. And Mighty Mount shows some really interesting and unique ways to address all of them. While they look on the outside of the box kind of, I would say, similar, or people would say, oh, it's the same as everything else. There's a bunch of stuff they do differently that really makes it interesting for the dealers, because they don't need to inventory a ton of SKUs to be able to address quite a few different solutions. And then there's one solution that's effectively, I would say, almost unique, And it's the one that really, I don't want to steal Jay and Chef's thunder, but there's one solution that our dealers do extremely well with, and consumers, many consumers and many retailers don't even know it exists. So,
wow. So,
yeah.
Out of the gate, I had my reservation. I'm like, well, we're going to do a show about phone mounts. We do like complex stuff on CMA. You know what I mean? We do like DSP and, training, all kind. No, we do phone mount. But
yeah,
I knew one thing, and that is if Importel is going to take the time to book a session to talk about, car mounts, there's got to be some unique features about the product. There's going to be some interesting opportunities for dealers. And what are you doing? Oh, you're just here. I thought you were bringing up a mount there for a second.
No.
Okay. And so you've got me. Let's dive in. I know that we're lucky enough to kind of go to Mighty Mount headquarters.
Yep.
And have two guests that will be joining us today. Why don't you introduce them for us, Romesh?
First, are you bringing them both on at the same time, or
one at a time?
Sure. So we'll be meeting with Jay. He's the head honcho over at Mighty Mount Casco. So he's really the visionary on as to why even build Mighty Mount. Like what is the opportunity in the market, and why did he do it? And he was the visionary to sort of get that all started. And then we'll have Chev, who's today will be playing product specialist, which is one of his many roles. And he really knows the product intricately. He does a lot of the testing and a lot of the presenting of products. So he's really familiar with that. And then where it's interesting is because they are used to selling phone mounts in the phone domain, the automotive domain for us has been very, very good over the last couple of years that we've been carrying. It's probably more than two now with Mighty Mount. And it's been really interesting to see how well retailers have done, because the consumers have walked in and understood right away, looking at the display, kind of going, "Hey, I need that." So it really goes.
I have a feeling after this, I'm going to need some of this, because you're just hyping this up for me right now.
Oh, you know what? I was sort of questioning it when it came in. I was like, "What are we doing?" And then I started opening all the boxes. I was like, "Wait, these are amazing." Yeah, like I went out, like I think the first week I went out and grabbed the unique piece, and I'll keep calling it the unique piece till we get into it. And we were talking earlier. You called it something else. I called it custom.
Okay.
And I made a custom solution the way I wanted it. And I think a lot of shops, are looking for mounts to do that type of thing.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want to be limited. They don't want to be limited, or have to buy 87 SKUs, to be able to offer, predominantly 4 or 5 different, solutions. So
what do you say we bring both Jay and Chev on and get our learn on? How about that? All right. So I'd like to welcome to Connected, Mr. Jay Rahman. Hey, Jay.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Awesome.
Good, Jay. How's it going?
And I'm also going to bring on Mr. Chev.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good, guys. You guys are looking good. You ready for this?
Absolutely. Yes,
we are. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time. As you heard in our little preamble here, I'm pretty excited to learn about your brand, your products, and the solutions that you guys offer. And I understand that between you two gentlemen, you should be able to answer whatever question I may throw at you. Confident about that?
Right?
All right, very good. I guess let's start talking a little bit about the product introduction. Like, how do we want to? What is the overall range? Like, if you said, Mighty Mount is fill in the blank.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of background about us. We are in the wireless industry since 2000. We started with Casco back in 2009. Before that, we were in a distribution industry. We mainly distribute our product to the wireless industry, right? So it's all the Rogers, Bell, TELUS, Fido dealers. That's where our product goes to. Now, we've been selling Casco since 2008-9. And at that time, we had a mount too. It's called Core 360. And we did pretty well with that one.
But that was under the Casco brand.
Under the Casco brand. We had one, and still, till now, 10 years plus, the number one mount in the industry right now. Still, we're selling like going strong. And when it comes to Mighty Mount, we've been thinking about doing a mount brand, because in the industry, there's a lot of brands, but it's like sporadic, like mix match with cables and chargers, and then you have 1 or 2 mounts. but there is a huge demand for mounts. Like, I would say 80% people or 90% people have car, right? So some people like in the vent, some people like in the dash, some people like on the window. So there is not a complete solution for it. So that's where we said, okay, we want to do a brand which is mount, where customer can have any solution they want. It doesn't matter in the window or the dash or the vent or anywhere. Doesn't matter. So that's how Mighty Mount started it, and we've been doing research for like last few years, and finally we launched it 2018 at CES Vegas.
Oh, big
And
launch. The right
yes,
way.
yeah, CES Vegas, and right away we got notified by Amazon. They recruited us to be on their platform. We did not go with them; they recruited us. So after that, it's all we've been in the industry for a while now with Mighty Mount. We're in Shoppers Drug Mart, every single Shoppers Drug Mart across Canada, 1,300 stores. We're there with Mighty Mounts. Plus, we have a lot of independent dealers across Canada. And then 2 years ago, we got in touch with Importel, and they were very, very interested on our product line. We sent out samples. Very great guys to work with. And ever since, and we're launching new product every 3 to 6 months.
All right. Well, I have a question for you before we go any further. The mount category is very aggressive and very competitive, as we all know. I mean, anybody can go, a Walmart, a Canadian Tire, all the, pretty much anywhere you shop, there's going to be some type of phone accessory section at this point. But I am a part of that consumer who is a mobile electronic individual who's savvy to everything that's high tech or new and greatest and latest. And I've been very frustrated as someone shopping in this category, because I feel there was never anything that met my standard. It was always cheap materials, cheap mounts. My phone would fall. I'd hit a bump, things would break. And then when I discovered this brand through Romesh, doing a little bit of research, I realized that this is a little bit of an elevated standard, right? As far as the materials and everything like that. Because in our market, I am not the one that's going to buy maybe your product at a Shoppers Drug Mart. But
right,
if I had my 12-volt specialist tell me that, after I just put in my system, I started to spend all this money with them, I trust this person with my car, they said, this is the mount that you need. There's a relationship thing there that tells me that this is probably better than anything I might have used or have found so far. So I want to know, before we get any further, has creating something higher end, better built, even though it might be a little higher in the price point, being a little bit of the formula to your success?
It is. This is exactly the reason we made Mighty Mount. If you look at our mounts, these are all interchangeable. So when a husband and wife, one husband likes dash mount, wife likes vent mount. They don't want to buy two mounts. We have a solution, right? You can use our vent mount with our cradle, with our dash. That's one thing. And each and every single pieces have some unique ability, which we're gonna go going to
which we're gonna put Chev on the spot too.
Right, right. So it's about showing you how we are different. Then you have to use it. And again, the reason we're doing this to educate the reps. A lot of things that we can do that the rep needs to understand. Why Mighty Mount? What I mean? Give you an example, quick example. Our magnetic mount. We have 6 neodymium magnet in that mount. There is no one in the industry have 6 magnet, and there is few brands will say that they have, but they're not.
Did you just say neodymium magnets?
Neodymium.
Neodymium. Okay, I was like, whoa, neodymium magnets. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So this is made for phone, but it can be used with iPad.
So to kind of piggyback on what Jay was saying, Mighty Mount, we aren't really aiming to just be an average producer of these kinds of products. Because to your point, Ben, there are a lot of people on the market who have similar products who, probably found a a manufacturer on Alibaba or one of those kind of like aggregate sites, and then like slapped a brand name on it and then call it a day.
R&D, rob and duplicate.
Right. There you go. So we very much actively tried to stay away from that kind of lane, and we did put a lot of effort and emphasis behind, a lot of intentional thought behind kind of what we would be bringing to the market and the various solutions and scenarios that these products could potentially meet and solve. And so, we do believe that we've created kind of like a line of products that, to Jay's point, is very much interchangeable and can be used across different applications, which I'll go like in more depth in just a little bit. But
perfect.
Yeah.
Just to add I guess the final layer that kind of brings it sort of full circle for the independent channel, which is what you were kind of, I think, reaching for, Ben. I'm trying to
understand.
So between all of the product concept and design and it being, in our opinion, a better thought out solution and a better quality solution, the thing that the independent dealer offers versus, being able to just, even walking into the independent dealer and just picking it up and leaving and walking out of the shop is with the case coat wires and the charger itself, we're able to hardwire the wires. Like if you're doing a vent mount, for instance, we've all seen or even have it in our car with wires like dribbling all over the car, into the cup holder, and it gets caught in the e-brake and it gets caught in the shifter and it's all over the place and it's in your coffee mug and it's just a disaster, right? We're able to offer the ability to hardwire it in like we would in anything else that, that we do, using a female cigarette lighter adapter. We put the case coat male with the cable and we run it into the vent. So, there's a labor component, which a Shoppers Backyard or anybody else can't offer you.
Yeah, because we are a hardwire business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. So, or we were talking about those different integration, like you're pulling the guy's car apart to do his amp integration and his speaker integration with his factory radio. So to put the mount, to put the secret sauce mount, as I call it, till we get to it, into the vehicle, and we can just run the hardwire, right? Sense. So like in my Mustang, I was on vacation a couple of years ago. I was away from work actually, and I went down to one of our dealers in Montreal. I had it in my hand. I'm like, hey man, drop the car off. Can you run it through here? I just don't have time. I've got some family stuff going on and blah blah blah, right? And came back and all my wires are running. Everything's perfect, and I don't see a single wire, and everything's lickety split, right? So that's the tie-in for that, like you said, the relationship with the independent retailer. That's the tie-in. Good. Is that they already trust you you already trust them with the car, you trust their advice, and they're going to give you a finished solution with a higher quality product that isn't, this probably going to be your third or fourth mount that you've bought in your life. But this will probably be right. But this will be the lot. But this is, I mean, I'm 2.5 years into the one that I have.
Really,
the secret sauce mount. So I'll let Chef do his thing. And I don't want to.
Okay, we're gonna get right into the product. We've got the guys here to do it. I just wanted to throw up one comment here. Conrad from Sudbury saying, we use the 6 magnet mount on street bike tanks. The clients love them. The phones don't move a millimeter, even at fast speed. So that's some good testimonial from an installer.
Amazing.
Really good installer. Check this one out. All right. I love the M564DV auto grip and wireless.
No, that's the secret sauce. You're giving away the secret sauce.
That's not me, man. It's Ryan. He put it. I had to put it up. I've sold many with great feedback from my customers, and I use it on my personal vehicle as well. Thank you for that, Ryan. Okay. I think that we've whet the appetite. Let's dive into some product here. Let's talk about cradles and phone holders, I guess, is kind of the first category, right, Chef?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give you guys kind of a bit of a brief overview of kind of what I will be going over. So this will be more of kind of a product focused demonstration, if you will. Mighty Mount can really be broken up into 2 separate sections. Obviously, you have your cradles, the thing that actually holds the phone, and then you have your bases, right? And it's the kind of interplay between those 2 that ultimately gives you a solution that can be used in a bunch of different ways. So yeah, and without further ado, the very first one that we will be talking about is called the grip. It is and Jay is actually going to be doing a bit of the modeling of the product itself. We're actually sitting right next to each other, by the way.
Yeah, we figured that out. We can see your shoulder, see his
We
arm
can see
popping once in a
Jay's
while.
arm all the time.
There you go. So that's fine. This is cool.
Yeah, so the first and foremost one is, again, simply just the grip. And it is, hold it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring it really close.
Oh, I mean, that's as basic as it gets, right?
yeah,
Right.
Well,
Oh.
it is,
Oh,
but
that
it's
seems
not
really strong.
right.
Exactly. So it's got a spring-loaded mechanism
Mhm.
that allows you to very easily kind of open the unit up and close it up as you need.
Mhm.
And so what you can essentially do is just place the phone in there, and that will activate the mechanism, and it'll automatically close into your phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the two-headed operation that people are used to wrestling with the device to get it in is now gone, right? So solution again, ergonomics.
Jay, could you
comfort.
show me how that? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
How
go
does that phone go in, and how does it know to close? Because I've had these things.
So there's a pad. That whole rectangular pad where Jay's fingers are is spring loaded. When you push on it,
when you push on it
Exactly.
forward,
right? When you push,
So
right.
I'm not doing this weird push to the right or left to try to, and then all of a sudden
No.
pops out of the vent. Okay,
right.
gotcha.
So yeah, it is just like the spring-loaded button. As soon as it feels some pressure, it'll just close in on whatever you've put inside. The grip itself does also open to a max width of 3.4 inches, give or take like a millimeter or two, but it is big enough to accommodate basically any smartphone on the market now. But not just that, it's also compatible with the phone case on.
With the phone case on.
Yes.
So even if I have the large size iPhone, for example, with the case, but even like a thick case, like
Max
one of those
Pro,
like
12 Pro Max, 12 Max Pro.
So let's say, yeah, even with like the thick waterproof case.
It
I don't know
doesn't
why I
matter.
made a waterproof case, but anyway,
It don't matter.
it doesn't matter. Jay's like, no,
Right.
I had to come on and say that. No, don't matter.
Yeah,
I don't know how Jeff Bates is watching this. I thought he's like in
He
Europe.
is. He's
And even
for-
he could not miss this connected session. I tell
Nope.
you. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. All right.
Yeah, so like to kind of just piggyback on what Ben was saying, like we've very intentionally designed these units to be big enough to accommodate even the largest phones. Now, phones are technically getting bigger and bigger as like the days go on. So maybe in like a few months or a year, they'll release something that we can't accommodate. But as of now, as of 2021 July, we haven't found a phone, or I think they're the larger phones are called phablets. I think that's the term.
Oh my God, is that a thing?
Phone tablet. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
that's the new phrase.
Yeah, I got you. I
tablets.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, so even the largest phablet with a phone case on should be fine.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is the grip, and again, it is more of like a compact unit, right? Depending on like your situation and kind of like the size of your car, this might be the most applicable unit for you. However, we do have a bunch of other styles of mounts that can be used.
All right.
And the next one we're going to be talking about is the magnetic mounts. This is my personal favorite because it is kind of like, I would say, the least fussy in that I think, as we mentioned earlier, there are 6 very strong neodymium magnets that are embedded into the actual units. They will 100% for sure hold.
Whoa, that was legit. Did you hear that snap? That was satisfying.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Whoa. Yeah. Okay.
not only will they hold
Either he's
iPads,
confident or he has a lot of money.
No, he's got no facial expression.
He doesn't care. He's not
Like
worried.
blank
He's not
face,
worried.
like-
He's not worried.
Yeah.
Drop that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So that is a real
Please
iPad
stop.
too.
Please stop, Jay. Please.
Not only will they obviously hold iPads
having
and
trouble getting it
larger
off.
tablets, they will also hold, obviously, like if it can hold an iPad, it can hold an iPhone, and the neodymium magnets make it such that even if you're driving on like a really rocky terrain, unstable roads, whatever, your phone will be safe.
Yeah, I think Conrad, when he said it works on a motorcycle, I don't think it gets.
I'm
I don't
very
think it
impressed when
yeah.
Conrad said that because I've had some of these
because suspension
other
in motorcycles is
cheaper magnet deals. I had one. I hit a bump. It literally, no joke. This is a real story. It fell off and hit my wife in the temple of her head.
Oh no.
Whoa, no way.
So we never, since that moment, I've never gone back to a magnet system because of that.
Wow.
We're gonna send you us. We'll send you a set.
We'll take care of you.
That's when I had
inventory. I got inventory. Don't worry.
What the worst part was is I had one of those Android phones. It was a Samsung, and it had one of those big waterproof cases on it, like the Otter boxes. It was even bulky and heavy.
Mm-hmm. You hit your wife with an OtterBoxed phone?
Yeah.
Wow.
off a bump. Right?
I'm surprised she still talks to you.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we never went back to that. I don't even want to tell you how prehistoric our set. Dude, okay, I'm going to tell you.
Anyways, yeah.
This is amazing. The strength of that demonstration there, no joke, very, very nice. Keep going. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no worries. And just a few more things about the actual magnetic mounts. The way this one works, so it kind of depends on the phone you have as well as the phone case. These do require a metal plate to be either installed on your device or
on the case.
So Jay will show you. Okay. We actually have installed a metal plate, and that's obviously it's magnets, right? It needs another magnetic surface to attach to. So it kind of depends on how you want to use it. Most people nowadays have a case on their device. So the metal plate itself is very thin. I think it's like less than 1 millimeter. It can fit very snugly within the actual phone case, and then you put your phone inside, and then it can then be magnetized. There are also a lot of integrated smart cell phone cases out there. We actually do sell a few of them that have integrated metal plates into the case.
Oh, the case has the metal plate in it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
So there are a lot of cases on the market nowadays that do have integrated metal plates into the case. So you don't even need a secondary metal plate to help you affix the mounts to the phone.
Right.
But it is something to consider. Again, most people nowadays, like phones are pretty expensive nowadays. They're very advanced, all this kind of stuff. I find it pretty crazy if someone's walking around with an iPhone 12 Pro Max and no case. I'm like, man, you live on the edge.
It's not a 12 Pro Max, but it's an 8 Plus, and it's lived its entire life caseless. But
really,
yeah, almost. This is the first phone I've gone caseless. I don't know. I have a death wish.
So I just don't feel like spending $1,500 on a phone.
No, I hear you. It's just
Yeah.
I see that. What Jay's showing is the actual metal plates. Mm-hmm. It comes in the box itself. I think there's like 1 or 2 of them included. It's a very simple installation.
Bring them closer together. Bring them closer together, Jay. Do it. There
you go.
You're stuck. You can't even get them off.
I mean, you could hear the snap through the microphone. It's pretty neat.
Right? Yeah. Right.
And he's got his mic off on top of that. It's actually coming through the other mic.
That's Jay's mic. Yeah.
No, that's even more impressive.
Cool.
All right.
So yeah, that is the magnetic. That's actually the one I've been using for the longest time in my car. It's just so easy. You just snap it in place and you turn it and you do whatever you got to do. It's
minimalist.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Next.
Cool.
What you got next?
The next one we will be talking about is we call it the simple cradle. And the first one we're going to be showing you is actually kind of a older version, if you will, or like V1 of this style of cradle. And one thing I do want to highlight with that is, in the mold of continuous improvement and always trying to learn from our previous products and create better options for the consumer, we're going to show you kind of how we initially created this first cradle. And then after that, I'll show you kind of like the latest iteration of how we, learned from what we did first and then created an even better product for the consumer. So this guy right here is called the Simple Cradle. It has, it's like a full-on solution. It'll keep your phone like fully secured into the device. The actual grips open up to 4 inches, so it's actually even wider than the previous one I showed you. The one that was just a grip. This one opens up to 4 inches. And there is a button at the top of the unit that Jay is showing. So Jay, if you just close it and then press the button. So it's spring loaded. It'll open up automatically to accept your device. There are also feet that can be adjusted. I think you can pull them down as well. Or is that this unit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Anyways, yeah. So you can adjust the feet so that obviously like your phone is, again, fully kept in there and safe. There are also grips on the side of the units. on the actual thing right here to keep it fully secured in place. And again, this was the very first kind of cradle that we created.
I've got some comments for you here, Chef.
Yeah.
So if you might hold that up for me, Jay. So first and foremost, I've had these before. And every one that I've thrown out is because that's what the arms that open ends up not opening or closing anymore. But I can hear from the way that this opens that the mechanism in there is much more fine than the ones that I'm used to. Yes, right there. The second thing that always fails is that button. And the position of the button sucks. Like nobody can ever figure, where's this button? How to open this? I love how you have that on the top middle. It's just so easy to access. Right?
Stay tuned for V2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, no, Ben, to your point, like it was a very intentional choice. Like we know that this kind of like problem exists within the present market, and like there's always mechanical failures of like the various internals. So we actually tried to beef up the actual mechanism as much as possible so that it does, will stand up to like the beatings and the rigors of everyday life, right? So that was the very first iteration of the Cradle. We've since launched the Cradle 2.0. And essentially what we've gone in there and done is all of the faults, or let's say the things that we thought we could have improved about the previous generation, we went in there and just beefed it up that much more.
Now, I think I have a video we can play to kind of segue us into this demonstration.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we go ahead and play that, and then we'll come right back.
Hit it.
I learned a lot there, but I'm excited to hear how you explain these features.
Yeah. So that was the latest iteration of the Mighty Mount Cradle. So right off the bat, a few changes from V1 to V2. The unit itself is more sturdy. It's thicker, and it's made of a stronger plastic, actually. We've beefed up the internals to actually make it that much more rigid. Again, as an intentional choice. One of the other biggest things that you'll notice, and Ben, you kind of mentioned it earlier, in the previous generation, in order to get the mechanism to open up, the button was on the back and the top of the unit. We actually thought that was a bit suboptimal. And so we actually moved the button to the, and Jay will show you, to the side of the unit. And it actually allows for an easier one-handed operation of the unit. So you don't have to reach behind it and press the button to get it to open. If you just simply go to the side, press the button, it'll open up, and you're good to go.
So you'll reach over with your phone onto the cradle, and then with your index, you'll push it, and then it'll release, and you just grab your phone.
Nice.
Right?
Exactly.
All in one motion.
And just to clarify, these are not charging. These are just holding. Okay.
Correct.
Yes. These are just the holding ones. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest differences between V1 and V2. It's just a bit more easy to use. It's kind of like, I like to call it like, ease of life improvements, just to like make it easier to operate and actually use in your day to day. And aside from that, again, like it's just a lot more sturdy than the previous unit.
Cool. What do we got next?
Yeah, so those are the different mounting solutions that we have. So the things that will actually hold your phone. And next, we're going to be talking about, obviously, so if you have a mount, you're going to need, if you have a cradle to hold your phone, you're going to need some way to affix it to your car. And that's kind of the next layer into the Mighty Mount system. And I'm going to be going through some of the various mounting solutions that we do have.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Amazing. So the very first one is probably the simplest one that we have. It's called a dash mount, and quite simply what it is.
Let's switch to Chev.
Sorry, I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, you've got it there, Chev?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got it here. So it's very simple. This one is all it is in reality is a small unit that you would take there's a 3M sticky pad. And this one is better suited for if there's like a small, like you would have to kind of apply this to a relatively smooth area of your car. So a lot of people apply it next to their radios, apply it next to their, some of their
center column stacks. Some guys do them near the shifter, down if they have a stick card down by that center console. Just depends on where they want it. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
and
common. Yep.
Yeah, this one's a very simple one again, right? If you're looking for kind of like a no-frill solution that you can just kind of like, it'll be a bit nondescript.
Yep.
It'll very easily fit in most nooks and crannies of your car and just, it'll always be there.
Minimalist. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the next one that we have, we call it the 360. This one actually employs the use of a suction cup. So it's a bit of more of a heavy-duty solution, if you will. Our suction cup mounts can be affixed to either your dashboard or your windshield, depending on where you kind of want to go with it. And as you'll see, Jay's kind of like showing how they work together and how you could easily apply a mount to one of the dashes. But yeah, so the 360 dash, again, this is kind of like one of our simpler ones as well. It's more of a no-frill solution. So
let me just jump in there for a sec. Sorry. The 360 dash for our independent dealers makes a lot of sense because where in the pictures on the packaging where it shows as a dash mount, if for consumers that want to run, let's say nav or something, and they want to have a hidden wiring solution, when you flip that puppy around and you push it to the front of the dash, right? You now have a glass mounted kind of almost like a heads up display type thing with your phone up there, and the wiring can go through the defrost as well, right? And that's something that the packaging doesn't necessarily give you because it looks like a dash, like an on the dash mount. Okay,
gotcha.
Right. Cool. So yeah, that is the 360 mount. Mm-hmm. And again, this one's kind of like more of your nondescript, like it's very compact, right? So it can fit in many different areas of your car. The next one that I want to speak about is actually called the air vent. And as the name would imply, it does fit into your air vent. I've actually used this one extensively in a few of my cars. And we do actually have a little display unit that Jay will show kind of how we pulled that out of I don't even know where we got that from, but
someone's driving around with no vent in their car,
right,
wondering where it is.
So it fits very easily, very snugly within the most standard vents. And that's one caveat, one thing to point out. This works much better with vents that have straight vertical or horizontal vents. So I know like for example, some of the newer Mercedes, they have like the circular vents, like those like crazy looking ones. This will not work with those. So you do have to have kind of like straight vents for it to kind of work and work well. And if I'm being honest, like when we first were looking into this product and like looking to develop this kind of a solution, I was very on the fence. I'm like, the vent itself kind of like they move around and I'm not sure how it would even like stick in place. But I personally, and I know I might be a bit biased, but I was very pleasantly surprised with how sturdy and solid it does actually affix into your vents.
Can you bring that closer, Jay, please?
And like when you do have it installed, it will kind of lock in your vent, so it will limit it from moving up and down.
So it's not spring loaded.
This one is not spring loaded. No.
It's that disc pressure that. Okay, I got you.
Well, actually, sorry. There is a bit of a spring. Like it works on like a tension, like with tension. So it kind of like wraps around one particular vent, and then
I believe the term you're looking for, Chev, is louver.
A louver. There you go.
The horizontal louvers
from your vent.
Right. So yeah, it'll very easily kind of wrap around one of those. There is kind of like a bolt that you would just tighten up. The more you tighten it, the more sturdy and like solid it becomes.
So you get more pressure. So it increases the pressure basically on those 4 prongs. As you tighten it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one again, I've used that quite extensively. I've very much enjoyed it, and it's also very compact as well. So you won't really notice that it's there, but obviously it is.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one I would keep in my travel kit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of the next one that I have on my list is also an interesting model. It is our CD mounts. And as the name would imply,
bro, this is the one I have in all my cars right now. It's a CD mount style.
right?
Oh.
So this will fit very snugly within your CD, like the slot where your CD would go. Obviously, in 2021, CDs are kind of like a bit of an outdated media. So most people, if I'm being honest, and I think we can all kind of agree, aren't walking around with like their massive binders of like CDs from back in the days. Right?
Why is he making fun of us, Romesh?
Sorry, man. I'm streaming now wirelessly.
Yeah.
Oh.
CD mount? There's a CD thing in my car? I don't know where that is.
Right.
That's cool.
But yeah, so if your car does have a CD slot, this will fit very much like very snugly inside. And depending on the make and model, I wish I had a better answer, but depending on where the CD actually sits within, like when you insert it, if the unit allows for the CD to sit a bit further back,
we don't bring that one in, so you're fine.
There you go.
So before we go too far, I'm starting to understand this whole system because here I am listening to you talk, Chev, but Jay's always playing and putting pieces. So from a dealer perspective, am I buying?
You're buying Lego.
Different cradles. Yeah, Lego, right? So I'm buying cradles. I'm buying No. Okay.
So they're prepackaged. If you look in the over their shoulder, you've got a selection. Each solution has a mount and a cradle, but it doesn't stop a dealer if you need a certain thing to go in a certain way, and if it doesn't come prepackaged,
they are interchangeable.
They're all interchangeable,
right? Because I've seen that. Okay.
Right. So that's what makes the system really unique. Is you're never really stuck. You know what I mean? Like you could, I want this cradle, but I don't want a vent mount.
Varnish? Is that a spot varnish on the boxing? That is nice.
Yep.
Nice.
All of our packaging is actually entirely recyclable. None of it's waxed, and we actually use soy-based inks. So
soy-based inks. That's the first time that term has ever been used on my show.
Absolutely, it's 100% biodegradable. We're just trying to make a bit of an effort to do what we can for the environment. But yeah, to your point, Ben, I was kind of saving this for a bit later, but kind of like the way to kind of tie the whole thing in together is that the entire Mighty Mount system is 100% interchangeable and cross-functional. So any of the mounts, any of the actual things that will hold your phone that I've shown you will work with any of the bases that you will affix to your car. So, depending on your car, your situation, you're not locked into one particular orientation. If you wanted, for example, if you really liked this cradle and you were a big fan of one of the bases that didn't come necessarily packaged with it, you could very easily get that different base and affix it to, and use it as one system. And the way these work is through a ball and socket joints.
I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah, so every mount and every cradle that we have has the necessary joints to allow for interchangeability, right?
Nice.
And yeah, and even me, in my car, I don't use one of so we have prepackaged combinations that we've found people enjoy, but I've just taken one of the I've taken the magnetic mounts, and I've taken the CD vents, the air vents,
and put that together.
And that's that works the best for me.
Perfect. And I bet if you have more than one vehicle, they're all magnetic mounts. You just go in the car and click, click, click.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
I need to advise you, we have 10 minutes to go, and I know we have a little bit more to go, so let's continue down this mount
Yeah, absolutely. So the next ones I want to talk about are kind of in a similar mold in that they are all our suction cup enabled mounts. And what that essentially again means is that you can mount them not only on your dashboard, you can also do it on your windshield. And the first one I'm going to be talking about is the big boy. Jay's kind of show you a bit more about it. This is what we call the gooseneck. Inside is a rigid, he's really going for it right now, is a rigid metal kind of like it's a piece of metal that you can move around and adjust. It is 9 inches long. So if you have again, depending on your situation, if you need something to be able to reach further, like closer to you, this is a very handy solution to allow you for that. The suction cup is, I would say, probably one of the strongest on the market. Once you have applied it to a surface, it's going to stay there, right? And again, this is for someone who needs a bit more reach. Maybe they have to mount the phone a bit further from their actual driving area, from like where they drive. This just allows for the phone to be a bit closer to you.
Okay.
Great for truckers.
Great for
Truckers.
Very
Yep,
nice.
for window mount.
Because the windshield's a lot.
Yeah.
I also strongly recommend any of our manufacturers who may be watching this, if you want somebody to vigorously test your product, send it to Jay.
Send it to Jay. He'll beat the living crap out of it.
He's pretty.
Hey, Chef, how many more suction cup mounts do we have?
I just have 2 more to go through,
okay.
And I know we're kind of running on time.
Yeah, because the last one's probably the most important one. So
right.
Can we do both those together, maybe? Or
yeah, absolutely. Yep. So the next 2 are our telescopic mounts. Essentially similar to what I was saying before with the cradles. These are 2 different variations. The one that Jay's holding right now is our V2. It is the latest model. We've made significant improvements from a previous version, which is what I'm holding right now. This is V1. Jay's got V2. And essentially, we've just gone in there and all the faults that we personally thought could be improved with V1, we went in there and we beefed it up. V2 that Jay's holding extends out even further. The suction cup is stronger. The unit itself is a lot more sturdy and a lot more thick. So it'll 100% stand up to the rigors of like everyday life.
Cool.
So that was a really quick one on that mount. And kind of, do you want to do a little preamble to this, Romesh, or do we just go into it?
Yeah, because Romesh has kind of built this up. Let's go. Well, why is this one so important to Importel?
Okay, so the what I was calling the secret sauce, or what Ryan Volk had alluded to, is the auto grip. The auto grip is, in our opinion, a unique solution because not only does it offer wireless charging. It's actually a motorized. It's actually a one-handed ergonomic motorized connection. So you can hear it in the background right now, opening and closing. That's, I mean, from a industry reception standpoint, from a consumer standpoint, and what the sales are showing, it's about 3 to 1 to the next nearest selling piece. Like, and it's obviously because it's motorized and there's electronics inside and all that stuff. It is a little bit more costly. So it's an interesting stream for both the retailer and for the consumer from a solution standpoint. What it also comes with, we'll get a close up here in a moment of the part, because it does do charging. It includes the cable, so it includes the 3 amp cigarette lighter charger. Mm-hmm. So it's a quick charge wireless charging. So any Qi compatible device is going to fit because you don't have to worry about magnets or whatever and this and that. It's obviously the case thickness will change the speed of the charging, which is one of the reasons I don't use a case, right? Personal choice. You can, and it works fine with, like, I've tried the Apple cases, it works fine.
I use barely a case myself, right?
And it works fine, right? Yeah. I haven't tried every single case out there.
I got a great video that just shows real quick, and then we'll come right back to this.
Do it.
Wasn't long, but it shows exactly what that looks like in your car.
Do you guys have one running right now?
Yeah, so Jay's actually got one that he's kind of like maneuvering around.
Right. So when you get into the vehicle, you'll normally grab your phone. As soon as your phone, you'll notice there's a blue lit. A lit.
that like a motion sensor, like a proximity sensor?
Nope.
Exactly. Yeah. So
go ahead.
So the unit can tell that there's a phone near, so you don't actually have to press any buttons. It'll just automatically open and then automatically close up as well.
Right. So the blue part that Jay, can you move the phone for a sec? Yeah. Okay. So the blue part right in the back there, that's actually the center LED kind of pointer to the charging coil, and the back there's an adjustment for the height of the coil. So depending on the size of the phone, right, you're able to make it see how it moved right up from the center there.
Micro adjust to maximize the
right. So
the
once you
connection.
stick your phone in that kind of same relative spot wherever the charging is, as soon as your phone does the little buzz to notify that it's charging, it'll automatically close. Now to open it, you'll just reach around the phone, and when you grab the phone with where your index finger is, there's a button. Whoop, because Jay's doing it kind of the other handed, right? So normally, if you have a vent mount or it's mounted towards the center of the vehicle, you'll have your right hand and your index will be exactly where that button is.
Oh, right. So you're like,
so you just grab the phone, it pops open. When you push the button, it pops open, and it's right in your hand, and you're in and out of the car like that. There's no wires, there's no cables, there's no nothing.
I want to add one thing.
Yeah.
Is every phone have a coil. So depending on, like if you have an iPhone or a Samsung, different sizes. So the unique ability for this mount is that button, like this wireless charger have a coil inside, but this coil is adjustable to the back, depending on the size of the phone. So that's why it will work with any iPhones or any Samsung. It doesn't matter.
Right. Anything Qi compatible, because you have, and depending on the form factor, because generally the charging is somewhere in the middle of the device. Right. So if it's bigger or smaller, the coil's got to move, or your phone ends up, sitting too high or too low in the charger. So super slick. And now from the dealer standpoint, it's a little bit more revenue, obviously, because it's, and for the consumer, they have a really nice, slick solution. And then install wise, all that stuff we talked about before, where, it's got the wiring included, it's got the charger included with the price of the device, with the 3 amp high-speed charger, right? So now you can hardwire it into the vehicle with a relay, with our, we carry the female sockets in stock. You can add a relay to it, put it off accessory, and away you go. Right. Super. So if you're using the vent mount, because it comes with the vent mount, and then obviously if they want to use a suction cup mount or anything else, right, they can just grab one of the other mounts, just pop the mount off, and they have the mount. And because the system's universal,
hold on. You said a lot there. I want to understand. If I want that mount,
yes,
do I have that option with every arm, or do I have to buy the mount?
No. You buy it the way it is, and you buy the auto grip the way it is.
Okay.
Right, which is that box right there.
Okay.
And then you'll just grab something else, like you'll purchase something else, or the dealer will sell something else and just pop the cradle off. So like a simple cradle, for instance, you just pop the simple cradle off.
So I have to buy the simple cradle and then buy this piece.
Right. From a cost standpoint, it's negligible because the simple cradle is simple. So there's not a lot of cost involved. Most of the cost is probably the mount, not the cradle.
The wireless charger comes with 2 mounts. One is vent mount, one is dash mount. Also a car charger, which is Qualcomm 3.0, plus a cable. So these things all comes with it. So let's say you have 2 car and your wife likes vent mount, tell her to use the vent mount. You like dash mount, you got a dash mount. Just switch the car. That's one option. Now you want to use this wireless charger with this gooseneck, you can, but you have to buy separate.
Right.
You want to use it with the 360 mount, you can, just buy separate, right? A vent mount, you can buy separate, right? Or this one, same thing. So all our mounts that we have can be interchangeable with any of the bases that we have.
Right. And that's what I was hinting at the beginning with your dealer, right? Is because we're solutions oriented and we're not sort of, we use shoppers as an example earlier. Like we're not the shoppers or whatever, where you just walk in, you pick something up and run out the door and then sit in the parking lot screaming and pulling your hair out. Right. The relationship that we have with our customers, with our consumers, our end consumers, they trust us to make the car right. And provide the best possible clean. Right, the
Best
clean,
possible.
ergonomic, and we have all those options. We're only limited by the creativity of our installers and our salespeople.
Yes.
Right, and that's really unique. Right, it's not the fact that you have a one way of holding a phone. Right, it's the entire package, and it doesn't require. While we showed all different solutions, you don't need 87 pieces of inventory in your stock room to offer a bunch of different
I
solutions.
would definitely have this. Strongly recommend to have a display in the showroom. This is something you want. Oh, what's this?
That's the display, my friend.
Oh, but that's what you need in the showroom, right there, with some inventory to back it.
Our dealers. I mean, we have a great program with our dealers. If you haven't talked to your rep about it, please reach out. You can call us here in the office. All the guys that are having success in turning through them, and a lot of the guys that wrote in earlier, it's because of the display. Because people walk in and they don't know they need a phone holder and most of them have the auto grip on display powered until you put your phone in there and you go.
I tell you, I'm going to guess
it's over.
9 out of 10 of your customers are unhappy with their phone holder.
Yeah,
like I am. I'm a grumpy phone holder owner. Grumpy.
I just like to add one more thing. This is for dealers and the reps. Mounts, it will sell if you let your customer know what is good, what is bad. You have to sell it. You have to work hard. And once you do that, they will keep coming back to you. I have customers online where we go and call them and talk to them, and they keep coming back. This morning, I got one customer, auto grip they bought about a year and a half ago. She said, I want the exactly same one that I purchased from you a year and a half ago from my brother-in-law and for my daughter-in-law, right? And she said, I want the exactly same one. Can you go and look at which one I bought? So we went and checked, and they had to call me to check it out. So we sent her a link, even though on our site, it's like you're getting a 20% off some, like a second time purchase. She didn't even care, paid full. And she wanted air, and she is paying $25 air shipping cost.
Wow.
So it have to be, you need to explain. Mounts needs to be explained to a customer. What is good, what is bad? How can, once you sell one mount, now that customer is for your life. You know what I mean? Plus, the wife will come, the daughter will come, son will come.
This has to be on demo.
Yeah,
this has to be on demo.
Our dealers. I mean, we're all for the better part. There's even if you're not a mom and pop shop, we're really community based. So we're all in business because of return business. Even us at Importel, 30 plus years. So yeah, absolutely. Those relationships for us are we don't get a lot of people stumbling into our stores. Not to say we don't invite new customers and we don't want new consumers all the time, but a lot of our dealer base is guys bringing his 4th or 5th car over. They're bringing their grandchildren. Someone just mentioned that the other day. So I agree, Jay. That's a good
100%,
point.
100%.
Guys, we'll have all the cars.
I'm gonna have to round this out.
Sure.
Here's my last 2 cents. I learned a lot. Chef Jay, thank you so much for coming on.
Gentlemen, thank you.
We could always have more time, but I think what we achieved here is a really good understanding of the overall concept, the overall, the raison d'etre of how you guys design and why you guys do what you do. I'm very impressed with the product line sold. I need one of those last ones. What do you call that? Secret sauce? I need a secret sauce for sure.
The auto grip.
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody does. Guys, dealers tuning in. If you don't have phone holders and you're thinking this is like one of those untraditional, no, man, this is one of those things you need to have in your shop because your customers trust you for solutions for their vehicle and they want premium solutions. And I think these guys have definitely brought that to market. Chef Jay, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate everybody's time.
Take care.
Take care.
Wow, that flew by. I wasn't looking at the time real quick, but that really.
I looked out a couple times. I was like, "Whoa, hey, this is getting tight."
Getting really tight. So, you're right, man. That last one, the wireless, the auto. I wasn't expecting the motor. I would have been happy if that was the same regular mount, but with the wireless charge incorporated. But the 2 game-changing things is the motorized element,
right,
and the adjustable.
The adjustable coil,
coil, yes.
Yeah, so the charging coil. So if you look at the back of my phone, you'll notice there used to be magnetic mounts from a previous style on the back. Yeah. Right. So that cradle, because it physically is holding the phone, there's no moving. It doesn't sort of do the thing in the funky chicken. No cables, no wires. Everything's all run nice. It's you get in and out of the car with one hand. It's as easy as
Slick.
magnetic, but it's charging. And no cables to fiddle around with.
I said
Slick.
it. I'm sold. Done. Totally.
Yeah.
Ro, that was a really cool one. Didn't know what to expect. We're going into a session talking about phone holders, but that was cool, man. That was really.
No, I'll give that one to Kelly because I didn't see that coming when we brought it in. So
yeah,
it was I mean, people come to us for cool things, and that's probably one of the coolest things you're ever going to see in a charger, really.
And we all need it. That's the funny thing.
Yep.
Have a great weekend, Ro. That was a good.
You too,
man.
Ben.
Take care.
Enjoy your fishing.
You too. Okay, bye.
All right, bye.
There you have it, guys. Mighty Mount, courtesy of Importel. I'm going to go ahead and put up, where is it? I had it a second ago. There it is. The digits, you want to make sure you give Importel a call. Visit them at importel.com. Give them a call on their toll-free. Sign up for a Mighty Mount display. Get that in your store. This is an easy sale. Use it yourself. I would, for sure. Very, very cool design. Very cool that they're Canadian. And I want to give them a shout out one more time for taking the time with us today. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a great week. Again, wishing everybody a TGIF and a fantastic summer weekend. We'll be back in full strength once again next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 3 more connected sessions. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Thanks for tuning in to CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. Until next time, we connect.